I'm Nathan Queeley-Dennis and I am a playwright. I fell in love with theatre, I think, from the first instance. You see things on television which were great, but that kind of tangible aspect of having things happening right in front of you and being able to feel like, obviously you don't touch the performers, but you can touch them, that kind of magic of live performance and being able to see that and experience it. I think I've been in love with performance, even like school assemblies and things like that. I just loved doing those things growing up. Some of my earliest memories of theatre were people coming into your school and performing, and occasionally we used to go out of school to go watch shows, and we went to a theatre in Birmingham and we watched the production of The Snowman, and I must have been like 3 or 4, and I feel like in the promo of it they said your nightmares will come true or your dreams will come true, but I definitely read it as nightmares. And then for about a 7 to 8 year stretch, every time I went to the theatre I'd have a nightmare about the play or musical or whatever I'd watched. But then I still for some reason really loved it, even though I had nightmares about it. I don't feel like I decided I wanted to be a writer. I feel like I just wanted to write. I didn't know if I was ever going to be able to make a career of it or be able to actually work in the industry, but I knew that there's this special thing of having like ownership over the work that you kind of put out into the world and your own creativity, and that's so kind of exciting for me. I think people in the industry would define me as I think they'd say I write good comedy. I have a good ability to kind of bring out really touching and heartfelt moments from that comedy. I think I like to use comedy to kind of tell a harder hitting, deeper story. I love the kind of magic in the mundanity of life, and I love people. I love being able to kind of take a story or a person who you would walk past in the street and to be able to expand on their life, because everyone's life is so like richly like wide that there's so much that can come from the person that, you know, you walk past on the street, you see on like a bus or a train, and I'm really interested in those kind of characters. I like to juggle the kind of audience's emotions a lot. I think I always think about how the audience would kind of, I guess, react and behave if this happened, and I kind of put myself in that position. So I like the idea of making people laugh and then immediately kind of stealing that laughter from them. I think that sounds kind of evil, but it's not. I think in general life, I'm a bit cheeky. I'm a bit of like, I don't know, I like to tease people and things like that, not in like a mean way, but I like to try and implement that in my writing in terms of, okay, so what will this do for the audience and how can I then make them feel another way? Or my favorite parts of like Bullring Techno Makeout Jamz are when the audience kind of laugh and then immediately from the laughter something bad happens, and then you can just feel the air get sucked out of the room. And I like to play with those moments a lot. I think you've just kind of got to be brave. Some things don't work. Some things have changed from the very first kind of draft of Bullring Techno Makeout Jamz to now. But you've just got to go really big, and then after that you can kind of piece it back. The main thing that inspired Bullring Techno Makeout Jamz was Birmingham itself. Birmingham and the West Midlands as a region is often overlooked, and I wanted to kind of contribute something to the kind of dynamic of the city, a story that everyone everywhere can kind of see and experience that. So that was kind of the main urge to start writing Bullring. Being from Birmingham, I've grown up watching a lot of stuff that is set and based in London, and you know, I get it, I enjoy it, I like to watch it, and I think sometimes it's good to just flip the kind of script in that respect, no pun intended, of just like, yeah, this is a story from Birmingham, but anyone can watch it. And I think maybe people from London aren't necessarily familiar or used to that. With people reading your work, you don't know who's reading your work, you don't know what walks of life they're from, and I can say that there's probably a big difference to the lifestyle that I've led growing up and the people that I've been around growing up in comparison to some of the people that maybe end up reading your plays. So I never knew if Okay, so I'm lying. I had full confidence in Bullring as a script because it did exactly what I wanted it to do, but I didn't have faith in necessarily, I guess, if other people would be able to see that. Working with Paints Plow is really great. I've worked with Paints Plow a couple of times now in my career. I've worked with them as a performer, so to work with them as a writer has been really fun. I've been able to, I guess, interact more with the kind of, outside of just like the directors, the other members of staff, and form relationships with them that I really cherish. Playing Bullring Techno Makeout Jamz in the Roundabout was really enjoyable. I think the Roundabout is like one of the best kind of theatre spaces in the country, if not the world. I can't say the world, I've not really performed around the world. But definitely it's so great because it's like an arena. It's like the audience are so close to you. It's so intimate, but it's so big and vast at the same time. It really balances on that line of being massive but so small, and being able to take the play there, I feel like it was a perfect marriage of like the right play in the right space, and yeah, I love doing it in Roundabout. Winning the Bruntwood Prize was pretty surreal. It was a fever dream of sorts, but it was really, really life-affirming for me. At that point, no one had read the play, no one had read Bullring Techno Makeout Jamz, or of people that I knew, it was like less than 3 or 4 people had maybe seen the version that I'd submitted into the Bruntwood Prize. So I didn't know if it was good enough, I didn't know if people would enjoy it. So then to get shortlisted, it kind of already was like, okay, actually maybe this play does have legs and it does have a potential future life actually on stage. But then to win the Bruntwood Prize, it was a massive honour. The transfer to the Royal Court was obviously like brilliant, like a dream come true. I think a lot of writers and performers always dream of maybe being able to work at the Royal Court one day. So to be able to kind of do both, take my own work and also be able to perform there was, like an amazing experience. It's such a historical building where a lot of playwrights have, kind of started their journey. So to be able to kind of feel like I'm also a part of that, however big or small, it was, like a dream come true. I'm not sure if it's more of a personal barrier, but it's the kind of what the next thing I write, what the next play is, that kind of pressure of having to create the next thing after the debut first thing has gone so well. And I kind of acknowledge that's like almost a really privileged position to be in, that the first play has gone really well. And I think I've currently been balancing that idea of, well, I want to make this, but then I'm like, do I want to make this because I think people think I won't make that, or is this actually what I want to make? So I'm currently trying to decide whether I'm making things because I want to, or whether I'm making things because I have a chip on my shoulder. I feel like we're losing a kind of space for experimenting and being allowed to fail. I feel like you're not able to fail, as if you do, it feels like your whole career can fall off the tracks and then you never make anything else again. There's this kind of unspoken pressure of having to succeed and constantly succeed to build up your career. But I'm a bit stubborn, so I'm just gonna do what I want to do in that moment when I need to do it. So if you do want to pigeonhole me, then, and I kind of push back on it, sorry.